out to their show. Buy me some winners and Cracker Jack. I don't care if there's only one nut, and it's root for the prizes. If they don't pick right, it's a shame. And it's 1-2, a free runner on base at the new ball game.
And welcome to the Sticks. That's the new theme song. I think we got it. We got a hit on our hands. I think that's gonna be the difference between what makes us a softly viewed, unviewed YouTube channel versus number one on the golden, what's it called? The golden hits station. Anyway, I am Driggs, and welcome to the Sticks. You know, Marco's still out in the boonies, and I think that's really the best thing to call it. He's starting to wear overalls. I got this text. He's sending me farm updates like it was the 1790s. The carriage arrived an hour and a half late with enough dry goods to keep us well stocked. We bartered our overstocked butter for some salt and whiskey. Dude's like George Washington out there surveying the land. Maybe he's gonna build a field of dreams out there. I don't know. Actually, he's much more like Martha Washington, trying to keep Mount Vernon alive. He's texting, the farm is semi-shut down, with most of the family headed back to Richmond for the winter. What's he talking about? Seems like an early start for winter, if you ask me, but what do I know about farming? Meanwhile, we are wallowing in the sticks. And as we wallow, we can take a look at today's game action, which is absolutely fascinating. We have no action ourselves. You know, we've been grinding here, and I have much to say about handicapping and the nature of handicapping. But what I really want to do is just see that Minnesota can get this win. Poor Maida was taking no hitter into the ninth and couldn't get it, and wound up tied at 3 at the end there. The Angels, a terrible performance. They didn't even show up. Toronto beats Baltimore in extra innings, but I've invited Nancy back today because she did this song for us. I wrote the lyrics to that, and she did the music. She played the piano in that, but I'd like to bring her back in and let's talk to her about this song. So welcome, Nancy. It's great to see you. How are you? There you are. Welcome. How you doing?
How are you?
I'm great because I've just been dancing to the Take Me Out to the Sticks song. I mean, I got a few moves in my repertoire and they all absolutely fit perfectly with the Take Me Out to the Sticks music. So
About 1 minute maybe, and the song is like 20 seconds long.
Yeah, and that's about as long as you want to see me on the dance floor. It's about the right amount of time. So thank you so much for doing it. It was a great collaboration. You know, it's the third song you've done for this adventure of ours, and this is show 27. So that's like one every 8 shows. It's like a song a week at this point.
Good, and this time I accompanied myself instead of getting a track.
You played the piano.
Mm-hmm.
And you just nailed it. You know, I've heard musicians tell stories about when they write songs and they're like, when I hit the chorus or whatever, I don't know, section A or section B, whatever the songs that I knew it was a hit. And I think we got a hit on our hands. When did you know this one was a hit?
I didn't. The tune is definitely a hit, though. Everybody knows it. It's a classic. It's awesome.
It is, and we
The
we
words
love
go.
it.
The lyrics are perfect for this show.
I do agree with that, and we are playing it as our intro music, and so it's
Cool.
introducing the show, and so it's actually put on the front of this show, and so the audience has heard it as the introduction to the show. And I made a little video to accompany it, because when we collaborated on the lyrics, I just had a vision of the song, and I don't really think musically, I think visually, and so when I'm working on the lyrics, I'm seeing images. And so to hear it to the music adds a whole different dimension than what I can really appreciate, even though I know the song. So how do you think when you're putting together music like that, knowing the tune and knowing the lyrics? I mean, how do you approach that?
I just listened,
Yeah.
and I knew the song already. I was just improvising. But I did the piano part, laid that down, and then played that and sang over it. Otherwise, it would have taken a lot longer. Playing at the same time is a lot harder, but I just practiced it a couple of times because there were a couple of phrases that had a few many more syllables or less syllables than the actual tune. So and then I just do it until it sounds good. It's not so much a thought or a visualization for me as it is just the sound.
It's technical. It becomes technical. You take the artistic, make it technical, and then it becomes an artistic. But I think we have a hit here, and I really wanted to have you on to just introduce it and say anything else you wanted to say about it while you're here with us.
Well, it's a classic tune. It's a recognizable chorus, and we had fun laying down the lyrics the other day, and we all know it, so it's easy to think about.
Yeah.
Like one that Mark put the lyrics to these J's. That song was known. The second one, just lyrics, and then I have to find something to put them to, is a little trickier.
Mm-hmm.
We tuned for this, and we wrote the lyrics accordingly.
Well, the thing that the one particular thing I really liked about this song was the last time you were here, and you were the first guest to ever be on twice. So congratulations. There's probably an award for that.
Record breaker.
Yeah. But when you were here, we were talking about the music, and we talked about Cracker Jacks Cracker Jack, and that had come up, and right.
So said. Mm-hmm.
Right, and you pointed out there's just one nut in it, and that became a lyric in the song. So it's a great creative process, and it's going to be the difference between this show having no viewership and us becoming a major influencing entity.
Well, I don't know about reaching those masses, millions and billions of people, but if your picks are good and they like to gamble, then they're in the right place.
Our music has been a little better than the picks recently.
Oh.
The picks have not been bad. We're just treading water here. It's like at a poker table when you're just staying afloat because you are the best one at the table, but you're not getting the cards. And if you could just not get knocked out, time is on your side. That's
you're willing to sit there for 23 hours.
Yeah. Well, we're willing to sit here all tournament long because we love baseball. And so sitting here in the grind, the misery of it is our pleasure.
Well, tell me one thing before we go, if you don't mind. Two things. The free base and the free runner, and how many innings? It's less innings and there's a free runner, so the whole game is changed. Is that correct?
That's almost correct. I'll take the second point first. When they're playing double headers, they've reduced the innings from 9 to 7 because they're playing so much in such a short amount of time that that reduces 4 innings off of the amount that the teams will play that day. So that's like a third of the game, but that's only when they're playing double headers. But like when you look at the schedule tomorrow, there are 1, 2, 3.
You're
There's
saying two on base. The new ball.
the new ball game,
I
exactly.
didn't even know it. Sorry, I
Yeah.
interrupted, but that I couldn't stop myself.
Yeah. So tomorrow there's like 3 double headers, so they're happening a lot. So they've shortened that. And then if a game goes into extra innings, they're starting the extra innings with an automatic runner at second base. You don't have to hit a double. You just get a guy at second, which
Nice.
yeah, it's great if you want the game to end quicker.
Well, what about overtime?
Well, that's in basketball.
Excuse me, extra innings.
Yes. Well, that's the extra inning is you get a guy on second. You get to start with a base runner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's cool. It's just different.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much for helping us and being a creative entity
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. And
We
have a great show tonight.
Thank you. We look forward to seeing you again soon, Nancy.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, I guess I have to leave myself.
Yeah.
You'd throw me out. Bye-bye, everybody.
Yeah, she's used to being thrown out of places, not being, not walking out, I guess. That's too funny. So that's our show for tonight. It really should be. I mean, I know the quality of the jokes I have remaining, and that should probably end the show for tonight. But Minnesota is trying to get this run across the plate. They haven't really moved the guy along. Their bats are cold here. Chicago is behind Darvish, is coasting to a win, which is something that, whoa, no, St. Louis has bases loaded now. Mm-hmm. See, I'm trying to avoid my jokes for tonight. So let me just get straight to the spam text I got. This one was great for reasons that don't necessarily come off as initially being funny, but this guy writes to me, with over 26 years of experience, let us put our analytics to work to show you how to turn sports outcomes into sports incomes. Really? You see what he did there? That's so cute. That's adorable. Turn sports outcomes into sports incomes. That's just adorable. But that's the problem with that text. The only thing is handicapping is not cute. It's not adorable. And when you get cute and adorable with handicapping, it's pathetic. Pathetic. Sports outcomes into sports incomes. He's so cute. Not cool. But you know what is kind of cute is the strategy. Look, as we've been seeing more and more of these extra inning games, as Nancy was asking about the second, or the guy on second in the extra innings, I've really been thinking about the best strategy to approach that time of the game in. And the thing is, with every strategy, there's a reaction or a counter strategy. So maybe this still needs to be developed. But let me tell you what I think is the best strategy. And you'll see how there's a counter strategy to each of the moves. So I think each team just really needs on their expanded roster a really speedy, fast guy who can be the automatic runner at second in the first extra inning. But because that's the strategy, you want your speediest, best runner on second. But the rule is that the guy on second is the person who made the last out the prior at bat. So we know Miami has the speed skater, but other teams, they should all be getting this guy. But it really requires some advanced thinking. So if it looks like you're going into extra innings, say it's the bottom of the ninth, and you have 2 outs and nobody on. This is when you execute the strategy. You bring your speedy guy up to bat, so he pinch hits. That way, he intentionally makes the 3rd out so that in the 10th inning, he'll be the automatic runner on second. You see how you've outsmarted them? Because unless you got a guy up who can hit a solo homer to end the game, the odds are with 2 outs, nobody on, you're going to extra innings. So pinch hit with the speedy runner, and the speedy runner intentionally makes the out, so he gets to be the base runner in the 10th. But there's going to be a reaction to that. As soon as you announce that you are pinch hitting with the speedy base runner, the other team's going to be like, oh, he's going to intentionally make an out so that in the extra innings, they'll have an advantage because they'll have the speediest runner on second. So if you're the pitcher on that team, you have to not let him make the out. You have to intentionally let him on. So if you intentionally let him on, but you don't want a speedy runner on base, because if the next guy gets up, you've put yourself at risk. If he hits a ball into the gap, then the speedy runner from first can score and you lose. So that's a little risky. So not only do you not want the speedy runner to come onto base to make the intentional out, to be the additional automatic runner in the 10th, you don't want to let him on, but you can't let him get on. So what you have to do is you have to peg him with the ball, and you got to knock him out of the game. So you can't really throw at his head. It's not what you should do. You got to throw at his knee. You just got to peg him right in the knee so that, yes, their speedy runner gets on, but he's out of the game because you just pegged him in the knee. So they lose that advantage, and you're not disadvantaged by having a speedy runner at first who's going to score on a ball hit into the gap. So you reduce your risk of somebody scoring, because now they have to pinch run for the speedy runner, which they probably don't have a second speedy runner. Nobody's filling their roster with 2 speedy runners. So they got just a guy who didn't play, just a regular runner or a slower runner. And so they've pinch hit for whoever they took out of the game. They put the guy at the speedy runner has now been hit in the knee, so he's done. He's not going to run, and they just have to use some guy, which means by implementing that strategy, ball hitting the gap only leaves you second and third with 2 outs, which means you can just walk the next guy, bases loaded, 2 outs. You can still get out of that without giving up the run, and that's how you beat the speedy runner strategy. And I've thought very long and hard about that, and that's what I think you need to do. I think you need to bring out the speedy runner as the offensive team in that situation, and then challenge the defensive team to peg the dude in the knee. But you have trained your speedy runner to dodge fastballs at his knee. And so practice is you just get your pitchers just throwing their fastballs at his knee. And so he's got to practice dodging fastballs to his knee so that when he gets up in that situation, he's got a better chance to not get pegged in the knee. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what goes on in the sticks. But before we wrap up this show, as you can see, we need Marco back. But before we wrap up this show, I want to point out that we've been treading water here, hovering just under 500, giving profit back. And so I've been trying to calibrate what's going on in Major League Baseball, and it really seems that the situation is that the lines on the favorite are clicked up a notch. And so favorites are being priced about 15 to 20 cents higher than really where they should be. And so the dogs, there's a little bit more value, if you will, on the dogs, but these aren't really good dogs. And so when you see a dog that's like plus 15, 10 to 15 cents more than it should be based on your analysis, you're seeing an angle here. But the flaw is not on the value of the dog. The flaw is on the value of the favorite. And so you don't want to lay overpriced favorites in the long run. That's going to kill you. But these overpriced favorites really are not overpriced. They're the right, how am I trying to say this? Their price, the price isn't factoring in exactly where they should be. They're being overpriced a little bit, and the value on the dogs, it appeals to be there, but it isn't there. And so we've been taking some dogs because we like the price, but it really hasn't been enough. And so let's let another day or two go by and see how things shake out, and we'll make our adjustments, and we'll find a little better value. But I think the adjustment is kind of narrow in regard to the favorites being tweaked just a little bit higher than where they should be, even though those plays are coming in. And so there's not as much value on some of these dogs because of the late inning bullpens. The bullpens are not being factored into the ability of the favorites to have these 4-run, 5-run late innings. So I just need some time to process that a little bit better. And I've seen it now. I understand what's going on, even if I'm not doing a good job of expressing that, because this is in the weeds stuff. But hang in there another night or two. And I think by the next series is that start on Wednesday and Thursday, we're gonna have a good weekend. I'm seeing it. So no action tomorrow, and maybe no action on Thursday. We'll see what's going on there. But some day games. I got some my finger on the pulse of a couple things. So no first route flyer tomorrow, and we'll be back in action in another day or two with the little recalibrated power rankings, and we're really now able to come up with a little bit of a system for the bullpens. We're starting to see what the rotations are. We're starting to see when guys are going. We can start to move some of those players around. And so when the favorites are coming in around plus 135, we should be able to notice when that's a little bit higher, and they should be at 120. But the question is, maybe it's still a good value to get on them at 130. 135, because if they're going to win, they're going to win. Even if it looks good, that the fact remains that the rotation of the Dogs bullpen is just not gonna be able to get enough outs. Just isn't. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now. We are wallowing. We're doing great. We're hanging in there. Stay tough. It's a grind. This is about just making it through the whole season. So we treaded water last week. This week started off 2-2 yesterday, and I'm like, no, not gonna have another week of 2-2 down, being gummed by some juice. Not gonna do that again this week. We're gonna really analyze what we've done, where we're at, and we're going to get this back into the high 50s, low 60s, and get back on our winners. It's a whole tournament. A lot of games. All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate your dedication to our community.
And it's 1-2, a free runner on base at the new ball game.